Your entire species is nothing but trash, the Demon King says, telling the hero to fulfill his only remaining purpose. A swirling vortex of dark, writ energy forms in the demon's hand. Become my food and turn into my power, he commands coldly. A massive beam of energy engulfs the lone hero. As he's being consumed, he thinks of his little sister. He remembers his comrades and his master, all gone. But he is not going down without a fight. He grits his teeth. For them, he whispers, unleashing a final desperate burst of power. This hero's energy erupts in a blinding flash of golden light. His body shatters like glass, revealing a memory of his sister. More fragments of his life flash by his sister, his master. He sees a memory of his happy family from long ago. His one regret echoes through the void. If only I could have become even stronger. How dare you do this to me? The Demon King screams as the light consumes him. And then there is nothing but a white void. To stop the first Demon King and prevent the day the world began to fall apart is the hero's last desperate wish. Everything flashes white in a blinding burst of light. This world seems to dissolve into pure energy. A golden ring or bracelet shatters into pieces. His vision slowly returns, focusing on a ceiling light. He opens his eyes, red and bloodshot, and clearly confused. Our boy is lying on a cot in a small clean room. He sits up suddenly, wondering where he is. He stumbles over to a window to look outside. He sees a hospital building bustling with students. He's in shock. He thought the world was already destroyed. He turns from the window and looks at his reflection. He sees a younger version of himself staring back. A strange sound fills his ears, like a system activating. A notification appears in his vision. Gluttony power fusion complete. He glances at a digital display showing the date, May 16th to 115.7. Damn, he actually did it. He went back 10 years in time. He realizes this is 3 years before the Demon King's arrival. He remembers the apocalypse, the sky filled with monstrous tentacles. He remembers the shadowy demons that followed. That was the beginning of total annihilation for humanity. But now, he is back, he whispers, staring down at the second chance in his own 2 hands. He knows he can stop the gates of hell from opening. What is this gluttony power interface? Reads the system notification hanging in the air before him. He thinks about the strange thing that has been floating in front of him. Reads the glowing, glitchy interface hovering over his hand. He looks at the screen full of strange text and numbers. He wonders what these game-like stats are doing here. Si-Chen muses, seeing all his stats listed as 100. With his red eyes wide, he tries to process this impossible situation. He remembers his past life, where he fought using awakened powers. He muses, despite never having awakened at the National Awakened University. He figures that is why he probably woke up in the infirmary this time around. Suddenly, a new glitched-out window appears in front of him. It is an archive file for a class called Volt Assassin. He stares at the name, completely shocked. He recognizes it immediately. This was his class from his previous life. He wonders if his old powers have been inherited in this new life. Si-Chen considers, his eyes burning with intensity. He decides right then and there to test his current power. This system begins loading a class switch as lightning crackles around him. But just then, a thud comes from the doorway. This card slips from his grasp and sticks into the doorframe. A boy with glasses named Ma Long peeks in, looking surprised. Ma Long rushes over to him. "Bureau, you're awake. Are you feeling okay?" Si-Chen confirms he is fine. Realizing no one else can see the interface, Ma Long is shocked. "Whew! All your injuries disappeared." He says Si-Chen was beaten up badly just yesterday. Si-Chen calmly looks at his flustered friend, his college roommate, Ma Long. He remembers that Ma Long was a low-tier awakened who died on the 3rd day of the invasion, but now he is standing right in front of him, alive and real. Ma Long suddenly snaps back to reality. "Oh, right. Tomorrow is the rank assessment." He starts dragging Si-Chen out of the room, saying it is part of their graduation evaluation. They walk out onto a bustling campus, filled with students showing off their powers. It is a peaceful day, with people playing sports and jogging. "It's been so long since I've seen this many living people," Si-Chen says, unsettling his friend Ma Long. He nervously suggests they just walk around the field instead, as they walk across the campus grounds. Si-Chen is lost in his thoughts. He remembers the ruined world he left behind, the price of failure. His eyes glow with determination. He must act now and level up as fast as possible. In this era, there is only one way for the awakened to get stronger, he muses, considering his own rank. He glances over at Ma Long, confident that he is already stronger than his friend. And then, bam! A basketball flies out of nowhere and smacks Ma Long in the face. He hits the ground hard, his glasses knocked clean off. "Hey, if it isn't Si-Chen and Ma Long," a voice taunts from the group on the nearby steps. This one in the tank top smirks at them. "You guys recovered pretty fast." Ma Long is terrified. He cannot believe they ran into these guys again. I told you these two can take a beating, the leader boasts with a smug look. This leader of the group smirks at them. You guys know full well I'm playing ball here. He demands they bring him drinks. Ma Long immediately panics. Sorry, I'll go buy some right now. But Si Chen stops him. You're not the one in the wrong. He says the bullies should be the ones to apologize. If it isn't Si Chen and Ma Long, one of the delinquents calls out from the steps. This leader comments on how fast they recovered from their last encounter. Ma Long whispers that they are really unlucky to run into him again. I told you these two can take a beating. The leader smirks. Si Chen's eyes narrow. Hey, Aish, this guy, he says. Memories are flooding back. He remembers being held underwater in a bathroom by these same bullies. That's just brutal. In the memory. Ma Long begs them to stop. This bully just laughs. HM, why should we stop? I'm helping him out. He claims they are trying to stimulate Si Chen's awakening. But Si Chen just passed out from the ordeal. A bored bully comments, leaving him on the bathroom floor. Ma Long rushes to his side, asking if he's okay. In the past, Si Chen could only cry. Why do they never leave us alone? Poor guy. He remembers the bully's cruel smile and glowing eyes, ordering his friends to keep tormenting him. Back in the present, the bully repeats his demand for drinks. Ma Long starts to apologize again, ready to obey. But the bully looks confused, as if something unexpected happened. Ma Long is also confused, looking at Si Chen, who must have stopped him. This bully gets serious. His arms glow with a spiky green energy. He's an E-rank awakened named Gong Wei. Si Chen's red eyes glare back, filled with a cold resolve. This time will be different. Ma Long explains this is Gong Cheng, a bully who only targets the weak. This crowd starts to gather, recognizing that Gong Cheng is about to start a fight. They gossip about the targets, calling them the two most useless guys in school. Gong Cheng steps forward aggressively, his foot glowing with a green aura. He grabs Si Chen by the shirt. What did you just say? Si Chen stares back with his cold red eyes. From now on, don't bother us. And yeah, the bully completely loses it. I think you really need another beating. But Si Chen blocks the incoming punch with a single hand. Gong Cheng stumbles back, shocked that his attack was stopped so easily. This onlookers are completely stunned by this turn of events. He actually blocked Gong Cheng's punch. Someone in the crowd thinks. Si Chen just smirks as a loading bar for class switching appears. Perfect timing. Ma Long's glasses are cracked as he yells. When did you awaken? Yellow lightning now crackles around Si Chen's entire body. A sudden arc of red flashes across the screen. Damn! Gong Cheng is sent flying through the air from a single powerful blow. This crowd, including Ma Long, is in total disbelief at what just happened. This bully yells at his friends from the ground. Are you idiots just gonna stand there and watch? But his white-haired crony is just frozen in terror. Si Chen grabs the crony's arm. Electricity sparking from his grip, he throws the guy effortlessly, zapping him in midair. The second bully crashes hard into the stadium railing. Si Chen stands over his defeated opponents as the rest of the group flees. Ma Long can only stare, completely baffled by his friend's sudden power. Ma Long asks how in the world Si Chen got so strong. I have reached a few rough conclusions, but I'm still not sure of my exact rank, and there is still one problem I have to deal with. Si Chen realizes. Si Chen? What are you doing? Ma Long shouts in a panic. Si Chen is electrocuting Gong Cheng by the throat, not letting up. Damn. A voice calls out. Classmate, this is still school, you know. It is the vice president of the student council. She says this level of punishment is enough. She smiles, assuring Si Chen that the bully will not dare touch him again. Si Chen thinks the student council got here fast. He says he was not going to do anything serious anyway, but he knows if he does not scare them properly, they will just keep coming back for more. This other bullies hide in fear, agreeing to never mess with Si Chen again. It is time to go, Si Chen tells Ma Long as they walk away from the scene. This vice president watches them leave with an intrigued smirk. The weakest and the poorest. Huh. Later that night, we see an establishing shot of the men's dormitory. A powerful figure appears, surrounded by a brilliant golden aura. This is Gong Ting, the president of the Academy Student Council. He dismisses his trainees for the day. That's it for today's training. He glances over his shoulder at someone waiting for him. It is Gong Cheng, the bully, now covered in bandages. Gong Ting says, "You're still waiting here, Gong Cheng." Gong Cheng begs his brother to do something, saying Si Chen humiliated him and has no respect for the student council president. Got it, Gong Ting replies, his cold, knowing look promising retribution. A white-haired man with golden eyes says, "I'll handle it for you." Elsewhere, someone is cutting into a fancy steak dinner. This man and a blonde woman are eating. She asks how he will handle it. He says Gong Cheng just lost because he was weak. This guy, Gong Wei asks if Si Chen is really as strong as she claims. She says she knows everyone's rank and fewer than 10 students are D rank. All recruited by him, she adds that no one else has his kind of access to demon lairs. Mediocre awakened have no way to get stronger and no one can keep up with Gong Wei's pace. Si Chen realizes while running through the rain. Our boy is doing a 20-kilometer run with a 100-kilogram weight on his back. This system explains that basic training is essential for improving physical quality. An awakened's power limit is directly tied to their physical strength. But Si Chen knows that even this grueling training is still not enough. He remembers the day the Demon King Wrath descended and slaughtered countless humans. He remembers holding someone dear to him as she died in the rain. Man, that's rough. Back in the present, his eyes burn with a singular purpose, his one and only goal in this new life. To kill the Demon King Wrath, the beginning of all destruction, a voice explains. Just then, his phone starts buzzing in his pocket. He pulls it out to see a call from a girl named Xiao Yun. He is shocked. He quickly puts in his earbud and answers the call. She asks why he called so many times, explaining her phone died during a competition. She excitedly tells him if she wins a prize, they can finally pay off their rent. Si Chen is crying in the rain. But he tells her it's nothing. Poor guy. She says they just talked 2 days ago and tells him to wait for her good news. Si Chen immediately starts training, running laps in the pouring rain late at night. He finally returns to the dorm room where Ma Long is already sound asleep. After showering, he starts thinking about the most important problem he faces. To level up, he has to enter a demon lair, a voice explains, noting the guild's monopoly. He also thinks back to that strange gluttony power he saw mentioned. The gluttony system is now online. A system message declares, answering his wonder. Si Chen is suddenly pulled into some kind of void, his eyes wide with shock. He plummets through a strange pink space, his body surrounded by dark energy, landing in a desolate landscape. He wonders where he is. Wasanai asleep, back in the dorm. Ma Long wakes up and tells someone that Si Chen went running. Si Chen continues to fall through the strange energy field. He finds himself standing in a sea of red liquid, staring at a massive, twisted tower. He has no idea what this ominous structure is. Just then, skeletal beasts called direhounds begin to rise from the water as his class switch loads. He realizes this must be the inside of a demon lair. This pack of monsters lunges straight for him. Si Chen moves in a blur of lightning, landing a devastating kick on the first hound. Its skull shatters, and he gets a notification that he obtained 3 Fangs of Doom. This feels way too real to be just a dream, he thinks, tearing through the rest of the monsters. And boom, he levels up, becoming a level 2 Volt assassin. He can actually grind here. His status screen pops up, showing his new level and boosted stats. He even got some loot, 18 fangs and a Doomfang crystal. Boss monsters give several times the experience of regular mobs. The system message explains, instantly boosting Si Chen to level 3. I've already gone up 2 levels, he thinks, noticing the strange, devourable prompt over the defeated monster's skull. Si Chen stares in confusion, his red eyes wide with surprise. He sees the same prompt over another fallen beast and wonders what devourable means. He reaches out his hand, which begins to glow with a brilliant red light. His eyes glow as he focuses his energy, ready to see what happens. Devouring in progress, the system declares as dark energy erupts from the monster's corpse. He clenches his fist as the power surges into him, crackling with energy. A card materializes in front of him, showing the stats for a Doomfang King. I can kill them and devour them, turning them into my own classes, he realizes. His eyes widen in shock as the full implication of this power hits him. Isn't this, he thinks, as a terrifyingly powerful demon flashes in his memory. He recognizes it as the same power that Demon King Glutton once had. Damn! With a look of grim determination, he realizes that power has now been taken by him. Classes are born unequal in strength, and the fundamental rule is that each person can only ever have one, the narration explains. But now, Si Chen holds 2 class cards, his Volt Assassin and the new Doomfang King. He looks out at a horde of monsters, realizing he can have countless classes. His eyes glow with a terrifying new understanding of his own potential. He looks away, wondering why he was the one to obtain this incredible power. Si Chen stares up at the massive demon tower, wondering what it is. So you finally come. I've been waiting for you for a long time. A voice echoes from the skeletal warrior at the top of the stairs. This hooded being calls him by name. Si Chen. This narration explains the power ranking system from E to S rank. And yeah, Si Chen is immediately sent flying by an unseen attack. He thinks about how he nearly died reaching S rank in his past life. But right now, his combat power is only D rank at best. He realizes as the enemy deliberately avoids his vital points. This skeletal warrior looks down on him, still resisting. Si Chen wipes the blood from his mouth, defiant. This warrior offers him a choice. Stay and guard the tower with him. He asks if Si Chen really thinks he will not kill you. This only reason he is being patient is because Si-Chen is the only one who can reach this place. He summons more of those dire hounds from the red liquid. He tells Si-Chen to stay or be crushed into paste, but Si-Chen just powers up, yelling that he is here to kill him. Ridiculous, the warrior scoffs before being blasted back by a powerful attack. But Si-Chen thinks he has already figured it out. He noticed a 0.4-second wind-up before every swing. Using this knowledge, he predicts the attack path and dodges the blade. He also noticed a 0.2-second pause in the follow-through. The skeletal warrior realizes. He thinks if he aims for that opening, he can pierce his heart. Si-Chen uses a skill called Flash God, boosting his movement speed by 10 times. He thinks the few seconds he bought are enough for him to escape. He was watching the whole fight and noticed the only source of light. He reaches out his hand towards the strange pixelated light, but as he leaps for it, the light suddenly vanishes. A voice behind him says that was just an afterimage, and there is no exit. This shadowy demon finds it interesting that Si-Chen found the flaw in its attack so fast. It reveals its full form. Purgatory Rakshasa JN-S rank Star Warrior. Man, what a name! Si-Chen is completely stunned by this revelation. Then he is shown fighting a series of powerful demons. He faces off against a monstrous ice demon, and then a massive, multi-headed ice dragon. He lands a powerful flaming punch on another horned beast. He even fights a giant plant monster with thorny vines. He looks up at a radiant, almost angelic being in the sky. Through it all, Si-Chen's eyes burn with determination. This Purgatory Rakshasa J stands before him in its fully armored form. It reverts to its previous form, surrounded by a purple aura. Si-Chen looks around, a sudden thought dawning on him. He wonders if this place could be inside his own body. This demon grins. Mem, not only do you handle pressure well, you're also incredibly sharp. You're worthy of claiming everything here. Si-Chen repeats the words. Everything here, a key appears. An SS rank key of Time Rift. The demon says this is the key to the demon tower. It explains that gluttony devoured countless demons, and the strongest are sealed in the tower. This demon is gluttony. It tells Si-Chen to devour them all to become the true master of this power. Devour them all and turn them into your power. The demon's voice echoes as the battered Si-Chen looks at the ornate key. He holds the key and asks why the demon is helping him like this. This demon explains that the Demon King slaughtered its entire clan for selfish gain. It tells him the answers he seeks are all inside the demon tower. As its body disintegrates into energy, it tells Si-Chen to take its power and get revenge. Si-Chen is stunned. Take your power. This demon roars that from now on, he must get stronger and devour everything inside the tower. It continues its command to ultimately devour the Demon Kings themselves. Its energy continues to break apart in a flash of light. Only someone like him is worthy, the demon's voice concludes as it fades away. Its form completely vanishes into the white void. Of wielding my power, the demon's final wisp of energy echoes as it flies towards Si-Chen. This purple energy flows into his hand as a system message appears. Devouring in progress. I understand, Si-Chen says, his eyes filled with a new and terrifying resolve. I'll carry your share with me too. The new Purgatory Rakshasa Star Warrior promises. He vows to make them all pay in blood, he declares as sunlight suddenly streams through a window. Get up, everyone, a voice shouts from outside as Si-Chen's eyes slowly open in the morning light. He sits up in his dorm room bunk bed, back in the real world. Si-Chen suddenly wakes up back in his dorm room, completely disoriented. He checks himself over and realizes all his wounds are gone. Wondering if it was all a dream, but his system screen proves it was real, showing his new level 10 status and all the loot. And just one night, our boy managed to reach level 10. His doormate calls, leaning over the bed. This guy smirks, saying he heard Si-Chen got strong enough to challenge his #1 spot. He tells Si-Chen to get moving because the rank evaluation is about to start. This guy takes a massive bite out of a pastry as he walks. He brags to his friends that while they are all E rank, he is a mid-tier E rank, unlike them. The strength difference is so big I could take on 10 of them at once. He boasts while strutting off, claiming his rank has probably gone up again. Ma Long tells Si-Chen to go all out and get a D rank to shut the guy up. As they walk through the campus, the atmosphere is tense. Suddenly, some tough-looking guys shove people out of the way. They are recognized as Gong Chang's lackeys. This lead lackey with white hair looks particularly intimidating. But then the bully is shocked to see them being respectful to Si-Chen, wondering if Ma Long's stories were true. Si-Chen walks past calmly as the two lackeys bow deeply to him. A voice calls out from behind him. Si-Chen hears. Turning to face the new challenger with narrowed red eyes, a flashy-looking guy appears, asking if they know who they just disrespected. Do you realize he's the younger brother of our esteemed student, Council President, Lord Gong Ting? This bully and his friends are stunned. recognizing the newcomer as a D-rank big shot. "I can smell a true powerhouse," the guy in the floral shirt boasts. He leans in closer to Si Chen. "But on you, all I smell is the stench of someone destined to stay at the bottom forever." This memory of the taunt echoes in his mind about smelling a true powerhouse. "Are you a dog or something?" Si Chen asks without flinching. This bully is completely caught off guard by the comeback and starts screaming. But then a blonde man with golden eyes steps in. He says he investigated, and the bully Gong Cheng was the one at fault. He walks away, stating that it is right to pay the price for doing wrong. This blonde man, who seems to be in charge, remains silent and stern. Si Chen meets his gaze, his own expression just as intense. This blonde man tells them it is time for the rank evaluation, privately dismissing Si Chen as a threat. This scene shifts to a massive testing ground where crowds have gathered for the ceremony. Meanwhile, two shadowy people watch from a high-rise, one asking why the other is interested in the ceremony. Back at the testing ground, a student steps forward, eager to prove his strength. He walks through a glowing blue portal, entering the evaluation chamber. Inside, the chamber is dark and lined with cables. This rule is simple: release all your energy in front of the demon core. The evaluator instructs the student at the glowing orb. This energy is then transmitted from the core through cables to external equipment. The system announces channeling the energy from its core. Finally, that energy gets displayed as data on a large screen for everyone to see. The announcer says as the mid-tier E-rank results for the first student, Shang Zuo, appear. An official records the rank, but seems confused that the other data has not appeared yet. But someone in the crowd is getting hyped, yelling that the main event is coming up. Besides current rank, it can also measure potential, the highest rank a class can reach in the future. A text box explains on the buzzing screen. "Looks like my rank hasn't improved at all in 2 years. I was hoping to push for rank D," the dejected student thinks. This announcer calls for the next person. He mutters to his friends as they comfort him on the stairs. They tell him he is not the only one who did not reach D rank. The announcer declares to the roaring crowd. This big screen confirms it. The first D rank of the year has appeared. Then the guy in the floral shirt steps out, also a D rank, but with A rank potential. Shang Zuo's friends are getting more depressed, noting that is already the 8th D rank. Next for the rank evaluation, the announcer declares as a pair of polished dress shoes steps forward. This name is announced Gong Ting. It is the blonde student council president. The crowd gets hyped for the former D rank. It is finally his turn, a spectator whispers inside the chamber. The demon core pulses with energy. Its single eye seems to watch the proceedings intently. This rank and potential meters on the screen begin to fill up rapidly. An official watching the data looks completely stunned. That color is, this results lock in. D, rank upper tier, within rank potential. Damn. This crowd absolutely loses it, cheering for the president. Everyone is in shock that their school produced someone with S rank potential. This officials confirm the results. An upper tier D rank with S rank potential back in the high rise. The two observers note that this year's evaluation is full of talent. This man is the president of a university, and he asks the woman if she already knew about Gong Ting. This blonde woman replies that she did not come for him. She smiles, saying she is more interested in someone else. "I'm more looking forward to his performance," she says of Si Chen waiting in the crowd. Next for the evaluation is Si Chen. The announcer calls. Ma Long is in the crowd, yelling for everyone to just wait. Si Chen is going to blow their minds. A spectator shouts as his profile appears on the main screen. This bully from earlier watches with doubt, wondering if Si Chen can do it. He wonders if Si Chen can really pull it off. Inside the chamber, the demon core is revealed to be a strange one-eyed creature. Si Chen faces it, his red eyes glowing as he reaches out. A strange vision appears of faceless people in a red void. Then an image of a grand building with a glowing rank symbol. This scene shifts to the bully introducing a new recruit to his boss. This boss announces that his 10-person team is now complete. He boasts that with all 9 D ranks on his side. They will be the strongest team. Ma Long and his friends look completely dejected by this news. Ma Long looks nervously towards the testing chamber, saying Si Chen has been in there for a while. This official notes that there has been no movement at all. An official remarks while studying the blank rank and potential fields on Si Chen's profile. This bully from before smirks. "I bet Si Chen's too weak to even reach a rank. Haha." This guy in the floral shirt tells the blonde man that the rest are all trash and they should leave. This blonde man agrees. "All right, let's call the team members together." But just as they turn to leave, the testing machine starts buzzing. Suddenly, the screen flashes. Upper tier D rank. This entire crowd is stunned into silence, their eyes wide with disbelief. Ma Long is losing his mind, screaming, "See, what did I tell you? I was right." Even the blonde man and his flashy friend are completely shocked. WHA, Rank D upper tier. This screen confirms the result. Rank D upper tier. Back inside the chamber, the demon core is pulsing erratically. A system message appears. The demon core is unstable, and the results may be wrong. Zichen looks at his hand, thinking that was just his ordinary physical body. He realizes his level 10 base strength alone is equal to an upper tier D rank. A loading bar appears as he begins switching classes. This switch completes, revealing Zichen's Doomfang King class. Damn! He decides to test his currently weakest class next outside. The rank on the screen starts to glitch and flicker. It settles on a new result, mid-tier C rank. This crowd absolutely loses it. What's going on? Zichen's rank went up again. This blonde man is furious. Rank C. That's bullshit. Something must be wrong. These officials are just as confused, wondering if there is a system error. This system message repeats. The demon core is unstable. This demon core itself is now glowing purple and sweating profusely inside the chamber. The demon core's single eye is wide with pure terror, and then a massive vortex of purple energy erupts from the chamber. This vortex darkens into a swirling black hole right above the testing ground. This entire crowd is just staring up in shock, asking what is even happening. Someone in the crowd calls it a heavenly phenomenon. Today will go down in history. Their dorm has produced a world-shaking talent, the commentator notes as the potential meter glitches out completely, and the glitching finally settles on a massive golden S for S-rank potential. These officials are losing their minds. Another S-rank potential. Even Gongting is sweating. But then a warning message flashes over the S-rank potential result. And yeah, Ma Long is just screaming his head off in the crowd, completely losing it. Classic! And then the entire massive screen just shatters and explodes. These officials are blown back by the force of the explosion. Oh, no, the demon core overloaded. He yells for someone to check if the student is okay. A team of officials rushes into the dark and sparking chamber. Student, are you alright? This lead official looks around the ruined chamber, completely stunned. He finds the demon core, which is now shriveled and lifeless. The demon core died. Damn. Zichen just calmly walks past them, while one official wonders if it died from overuse. But our boy knows the truth. He accidentally used too much force and killed the core, but he got an unexpected bonus. He got a new item, an A-rank exquisite demon core, which lets him see power ranks and get danger warnings. Turns out, his gluttony power can just straight up devour a demon core's energy. So Zichen steps out of the portal, back into the testing grounds. His eye glows. A system message announces the demon core has activated, and with his new ability, he can see the ranks of everyone in the crowd. He thinks it is pretty convenient. His eyes glow with this newfound power. An official makes an announcement saying the demon core was overworked and died. Therefore, today's evaluation is suspended. This guy in the floral shirt scoffs at Zichen's friends, claiming the equipment obviously malfunctioned. He gets in Zichen's face, blaming him for breaking the demon core and wasting everyone's time. Zichen's hand crackles with golden lightning. He is not taking this well. He thinks to himself that this guy just never stops running his mouth. His eyes glow as he considers a permanent solution. How about I just cripple him? But a voice cuts in, telling the floral shirt guy, Chang Di, to stand down. It is Gong Ting. He tells Chang Di not to be rude to their new teammate. Someone in the crowd wonders what makes Zichen so special to get a personal invitation. But yeah, Gong Ting himself spoke up to recruit him. Chang Di explains, reluctantly grabbing Zichen's arm. He forces a smile, trying to hold back his irritation. In that case, welcome to the team. But Sai Chen just shuts him down, saying their team has nothing to do with him. You are too noisy, he tells him with one last look, his red eyes glowing. As Sai Chen walks away, Chang Di is left literally fuming with rage. This crowd is in disbelief that someone just rejected the student council president. They start speculating that Zichen plans to take first place all by himself. Ma Long's friends are loving it, calling Zichen brave for putting those guys in their place. Gong Ting just smiles it off. It's fine. Looks like Brother Zichen has his own plans. This crowd begins to disperse from the testing grounds. Up in the high-rise, the university president is disappointed they did not team up. But the blonde woman finds this turn of events much more interesting. Chang Di whispers to Gong Ting, offering to go teach Zichen a lesson for him. Gong Ting gives him a cold look. Do you think I'm that petty? He walks off, telling the team to make their own plans for the day. This blonde man tells his friend that whatever he does has nothing to do with him. This guy in the floral shirt looks completely stunned by this. But then a wicked grin spreads across his face as he understands. Elsewhere, a guy with white hair is being asked if Zichen left the school. This white-haired guy reports that he saw Zichen leave campus without even eating. Heaven is helping me. Now I can finally go hard on Zichen without any school rules in the way. The group's boss thinks as his target walks by listening to music. He walks past a chain-link fence, completely unaware he is being targeted. In my previous life, the warrior recalls the disastrous demon raid. This demon unleashed a massive blast of purple energy. The name of this incredibly powerful demon was Wrath, the narrator recounts. In this new life, Si-Chen needs to find the exact location of Wrath's demon lair. He strategizes, and to initiate this plan, he needs a large sum of money. So he arrives at a grand building, the Mithril Monster Exchange. This place is run by the Mithril Guild and will become the biggest resource exchange in the country. A man explains inside the main hub for buying and selling gear. This is the fastest way to get the money I need, Si-Chen realizes, looking around the shop filled with weapons. He places several sharp monster fangs on the counter. This appraiser picks one up, completely shocked. "You, a student, where'd you get this thing?" This appraiser is a total snob, saying he only deals with high-grade stuff, not some E-rank trinkets from a student. He is also whining internally about the lack of high-level customers, wondering how he will ever get promoted. He complains to himself about getting stuck with customers he cannot profit from. So he decides to just dump all the work on the newbie, he says, telling little Lee to handle the rest of the paperwork. This woman hands him a case with his money, asking if there's anything else she can help with. He looks at the receipt. The fangs sold for 18,000. Which is enough to cover his rent for now. But he has not done yet, Si-Chen tells her, summoning a massive greatsword that glows with purple energy. This new appraiser is completely stunned. Calling it a cool greatsword, she thinks she has never seen anything like it, guessing it must be at least a B rank, maybe even an A rank, but the original appraiser scoffs at her. "Rank A? What are you dreaming about?" He says he has never even seen one. A new man with teal hair walks in. "You're right. This certainly isn't some rank B or rank A equipment." This snobby appraiser immediately starts sucking up to him. "As expected of your sharp eye. Boss." This boss identifies the weapon. This is clearly from the land of purgatory. Rank S equipment. These other two completely lose their minds, screaming that it is an S rank weapon. This boss immediately changes his tune, eagerly shaking Si-Chen's hand and welcoming him as an honored guest. He offers to take Si-Chen to the VIP room, telling him to ask for whatever he needs. Si-Chen looks at the man and thinks to himself that he has finally appeared. Qing-Ji, a name card identifies the team boss of the Mithril Guild. In a lavish VIP room, Qing-Ji asks Si-Chen how he wants to handle the S-rank weapon. Si-Chen gives him a price, 1 million. Qing-Ji is shocked by the low price, asking if he only wants 1 million. He explains that even A-rank equipment sells for over 1 million. This weapon is worth tens of millions. "I want to use this S-rank weapon as collateral for a 1 million loan, and I'll repay it in a month," Si-Chen declares. This appraiser is completely stunned, wondering what kind of college student does this. He realizes Si-Chen does not want to sell the weapon, just borrow against it. The man wonders. Si-Chen sweetens the deal, offering to repay everything in 1 month with 10% interest. "Leave us for a moment." The pink-haired assistant bows and leaves the room. This appraiser adjusts his glasses, saying he knows Si-Chen is a senior at the National Awakened University. He lays it all out. The graduation exam is in a month, and the prize is exactly 1 million. He leans forward with a knowing look. "I'll take the liberty of guessing," he asks Si-Chen directly. "You're confident you'll take first place, aren't you?" Si-Chen could just wait for the prize money, but since he is not, he must be cornered and need it for something critical, he deduces. "In that case," the appraiser declares with a sly grin, he makes a counteroffer. 1.5 million in cash immediately, with 0 interest for a month. Si-Chen is a little surprised by the generous terms. This appraiser says he hopes Si-Chen will consider them for future deals, promising special treatment. "He deduced my identity and motive with very little information and knows I cannot destroy Wrath alone." Si-Chen acknowledges, sealing their agreement with a handshake. Si-Chen thinks to himself that he will need trustworthy allies. He places his hand over a glowing mana contract to make it official. This contract is sealed, and Si-Chen's phone immediately shows a deposit of 1.5 million. This pink-haired woman explains they do not have S-rank items in stock yet, but there are plenty of A and B rank ones. This entire staff is completely losing their minds in shock. Now they are bowing and waving as Si-Chen leaves, calling him a true hero and an honored guest. This boss promotes the pink-haired woman on the spot for keeping such an important client, but Si-Chen stops at the window, saying he has one more thing. He turns back. "I'd like to buy something." With his business concluded, Si-Chen gets into a taxi. He thinks back on his past life, where money was always their biggest problem. After graduation, he had not awakened and no guild would accept him. He remembers from his time working as a delivery driver. While he scrambled between part-time jobs with a measly account balance, his sister Si-Yoon received an acceptance letter to a prestigious art academy. The narrator recounts, a letter she tore up to stay by his side. Afraid of being a burden, his sister gave up on her dream for him. Si-Chen thinks, checking his phone. A familiar voice suddenly calls out to him. Biro! Bro, I've told you so many times. She reminds him that pickups are at the exit, not the entrance. So you really got lost again. A voice he hasn't heard in 7 years asks, at least help with my suitcase. Si-yoon asks, standing there with her luggage. Si-chen rushes forward and pulls her into a tight hug. She is completely surprised by the sudden and emotional embrace. Si-chen closes his eyes and smiles, holding his sister in a warm embrace. She is completely stiff in his arms, just managing to say his name. And then she starts struggling, yelling that he is choking her. Stop spacing out so we can finally go home, Si-yeon chatters, pulling him along. Si-chen just looks at her with a gentle smile, happy to have her back, but elsewhere. A group of thugs is waiting in an alley. The exact route, Si-chen has to take their leader. The guy in the floral shirt tells them to lie in wait and jump him on sight. He grins, promising to teach Si-chen what happens when you mess with him. Minister Chiang-di, with so many people, we might accidentally kill Si-chen. One of his men worries. I was only planning to rough him up a little. Chiang-di scoffs, remembering Si-chen's cold dismissal. I'll cripple him, he declares, ensuring Si-chen cannot join the graduation exam. Meanwhile, Si-chen and his sister walk along, completely oblivious to the danger ahead. Si-yoon sips her drink, asking if he is acting weird because he is stressed about the exam. She teases him, saying a guy like him would not be love-struck. Then she tries to cheer him up. Remember what you told me on life's a long road, and opportunity will come someday. She even starts singing a little song about believing in yourself as they walk. Si-chen thinks to himself that his sister is sharp for noticing he has changed, but she still does not know he has awakened. He tells her he is fine, but she just thinks it is his male pride talking. She remembers a book she read, concluding that her big brother is just getting old. Back in the alley, one of the thugs points out that Si-chen has a girl with him now. Another goon gets a wicked look in his eye, saying this is even better since there are no cameras. Man, this is not good. A man with sharp red eyes glares off screen. He can feel a powerful aura approaching, the student realizes. Back with our boy Si-chen, he calmly takes out his earbuds. He gently places them in his sister's ears. She closes her eyes and smiles, enjoying the music. While music reflects a person's state of mind, Si-chen muses, his expression hardening as he turns away. This is a good way to understand my brother better, Si-yoon thinks as her brother's eyes glow blue. And here they come, the same thugs from before, a bunch of D&E rank losers. Si-yoon remains completely oblivious, lost in the song. This thugs charge down the street as the siblings walk on. A memory flashes through Si-chen's mind. In his past life, he lost his family in the year 216. He did not see his sister again until 267, long years later. This is the first time in 7 years he has been reunited with family, and these guys have the nerve to ruin this moment in an instant. He sends one of the thugs flying through the air. This song continues to play in Si-yeon's ears. Ruins framed in stone, broken peaks in gray. While she listens peacefully, Si-chen's fist crackles with golden lightning. A red-haired thug can only scream as the attack closes in. Si-chen becomes a blur of motion, taking out the entire group with brutal efficiency. He launches himself into the air, delivering a devastating kick. But one of them has a trick. A massive bandaged fist comes crashing down. Damn. Si-chen just catches the giant's wrist with one hand, stopping it cold. Si-chen's glowing fist smashes into the thug's arm, shattering the bone. This guy screams in absolute agony. AH, my arm. This punch connects with brutal force, sending blood flying. A shockwave of power erupts, sending the entire group of thugs flying. Damn, one of the goons can only think one thing. Holy, how is he this strong? The terrified leader in the floral shirt gasps. Si-chen is wreathed in golden energy as he lunges for the next target. He lands a devastating punch right in another thug's face. This floral shirt leader is the last one standing. Watching in horror, he grits his teeth, trying to hype himself up. Damn it, I'm one of the top cloud-type assassins. You think I can't fight back? He screams as a powerful blow sends him flying. Si-chen's glowing fist smashes right into his face. He follows up with a brutal downward strike. A voice narrates as the blow's sheer force snaps the leader's head back. His body is sent flying and crashes hard into the pavement from the ground. All the thugs can see is a dark silhouette with glowing red eyes. Si-chen stands over the unconscious leader. I told you already, don't bother me. His eyes are burning with rage. Do you not understand human language? This terrifying silhouette with burning eyes looms over them. He stands over the broken man, his words echoing. I told you already, don't bother me. His furious glare seems to burn right through them. Do you not understand human language? The test results were real. Si-chen is definitely above rank D, the leader realizes, lying in a pool of blood. Si-chen holds a knife to the leader's mouth. Shut up! Make one more sound and I'll kill you. This leader is crying in terror. His eyes aren't lying. He really would kill me. He sees Si Chen as a terrifying silhouette with burning eyes. He's just a student. Why is his killing intent so heavy? Every single word I'm about to say, you better remember it well. Si Chen warns, staring him down with a glowing red eye. I don't care if you scum want to rot away somewhere, but don't bother me again. And don't you dare threaten my sister's safety if he threatens the defeated thugs. No, if you even appear in my sister's line of sight, every last one of you, he hisses, pressing the knife harder against the man's mouth. I won't hesitate to make you disappear forever, understand? Si Chen warns, his eyes wide with fury. This terrified leader can only nod frantically. Si Chen tosses the knife aside and walks away. Leaving the broken man behind, he feels so lonely. Si Yun thinks as a single tear rolls down her cheek. She wonders why the song is affecting her so much. Why does listening to this song make me want to cry? You're not that lonely. I've been by your side this whole time, she thinks. She pulls out an earbud. Annoyed, bro. Playing this card is so annoying. Si Chen turns back to her, holding out a small red gift box. He smiles. Yao Yun, this is a gift for you. Inside is a beautiful golden pen. She is completely stunned. This is a magic holographic drawing pen, and it's the latest model from the Dorad Corporation. This costs over 10,000. Where'd you get the money? She questions the warmly smiling Si Chen. In my past life, I couldn't protect you, Si Chen thinks, remembering his sister trying to convince herself to return a gift. I couldn't guard your dreams either. I'll protect everything that's yours, Si Chen vows as he and his sister walk away from the broken thugs. Later, Si Yun is ecstatic with her new gift, a pen that draws holograms. Wow, this is so amazing! I can draw holographic images in midair. Si Chen happily eats noodles she made. I'm glad you like it, Sha Yun. Sha Yun's fried egg noodles really are the best. But bro, we still need to pay rent. You're spending money so recklessly, she says, her conflicted gaze landing on the expensive pen. Si Chen casually drops a bombshell. I already paid this year's rent in full. He tries to play it off with a terrible lie about a business venture. Well, I partnered with a friend, made some money. So now you're keeping secrets from me, his sister accuses, crossing her arms. But her expression softens. But still, she puts a comforting hand on his shoulder. Anyway, bro, no matter what you're dealing with, I'll always be on your side, she tells him with a warm, supportive smile. Chang Di's injuries are severe. Over 60% of his bones are fractured, a subordinate reports. This scene shifts to an underwater view of a coral reef. A man stands before a massive aquarium, hearing that even the best healers will need a month to fix Chang Di. This is the green-eyed man from before, he says. I didn't expect he'd actually go after Xiang Ke and end up like this. A woman in a green dress notes that Chang Di will have to miss the graduation exam. This man just scoffs. Doesn't matter. My team just lost dead weight. Who couldn't keep up anyway? Geez, that's cold. In another office, an older man with glasses looks over a file. That's Si Chen again. He is Gong Xuan, the director of career services. Elsewhere, a man with sharp yellow eyes listens intently to a report. His subordinate explains that his father invited the Alliance vice chairman to the graduation exam so no one can steal his spotlight. An older man with a mustache and glasses looks out the window. If it comes down to it, I may have to ask my niece to fill the gap in Gong Ting's team, he says, but a woman in a green dress cuts him off. Uncle, you're overthinking this, she tells the surprised older man. This yellow-eyed man smirks. Do you really think I used my full strength during the evaluation? Who the strongest really is, the rival promises, staring down a shark. With my money issues resolved, I can finally launch my plan. Si Chen thinks after finishing his training for the day, and his next task is a big one. The commentator remarks on the 1 million scholarship prize. His goal is to win the exam, get the scholarship, and repay Qingji's loan. He acknowledges knowing he must honor the contract. Lying in bed, Si Chen counts down the days. Less than a month until the exam. His plan is simple. Level up a few more times. He resolves upon entering the hellish training dimension. My weakest class, Doomfang King, is a mid-tier C rank. He confirms from the stat screen. But his strongest class, Purgatory Rakshasa, was a completely different story. He realizes seeing its rank completely exceed the system's capacity to measure. He knows it is an S-rank class, but unleashing its full power remains a mystery. He acknowledges it. He thinks that the ranks for his other two classes are still a mystery. He muses as the glowing SSS rank key appears in his hand. He uses it to unlock the massive gates to the Demon Tower. He decides he is going to test his power today. Si Chen declares before the swirling purple vortex. I wonder what I will find inside. Si Chen wonders as the swirling portal consumes him. He opens his eyes, realizing where he is. He has arrived in a place called the Starfall Barrens, an alien landscape under a nebula. A spiky silhouette appears before a strange striped background. Si Chen looks over. Startled by something off-screen, he suddenly drops to one knee, struggling against an unseen force. The gravity here is incredibly intense. The weakened challenger realizes he knows he has to adapt to this environment as quickly as possible. He thinks as a massive glowing purple paw steps onto the ground nearby. A rank B monster appears. A phantom lion. Si Chen's hand crackles with yellow energy as he catches his breath. "So you're the enemy on this floor," the glutton states. Si Chen prepares to fight the celestial beast. This lion lunges, and our boy slides under it to dodge. He knows he has to end this fight quickly. He thinks as his paralysis attack fails against the lion. Si Chen's eyes widen in shock. He missed. He realizes the high gravity is severely affecting his speed and accuracy. He thinks as a massive purple energy beast slams him hard into the ground. In this environment, his assassin class has lost almost all its advantages, he concludes, throwing a punch crackling with pink and blue energy. And yeah, he switches to his Purgatory Rakshasa class, a star warrior. He knows each class has its own core advantages, and this calls for a warrior, he grunts, holding back the beast's claw. Then he flips over it, slamming the monster headfirst into the cracked floor. Damn. By stacking gravity to the maximum, this punch is amplified 60 times to its absolute limit, he calculates. This beast can only yell out as a beam of pure energy blasts right through it. This will not stop me. The monster roars even as the massive explosion of power obliterates it. After the fight, Si Chen's hand lies limp and battered on the ground. A system message explains that each star on a class card represents a stat multiplier. We see a single glowing star as an example. This more stars. The stronger the class becomes after switching. His Purgatory Rakshasa has 11 stars, while his Volt Assassin has 9. So the Rakshasa class has more stars and is stronger overall. Its rank should be slightly higher than the Volt Assassin after switching, but he just used everything he had just to defeat a B-rank monster. A chart confirms it. His two main classes are only B rank, with his weakest at C-Man. He's got a long way to go. He notes that neither of his two classes has broken through to B rank yet. But speaking of which, he seems to notice something is off. He just killed the monster, but the door to the next level is not appearing. He stands alone on the barren landscape, wondering where the gate is. A sudden thought strikes him. A swirling vortex of energy begins to form in the void. A sharp sound cuts through the silence. A massive black hole tears open in the sky above him, and from within the darkness, countless glowing eyes stare back. Jeez, he realizes the real lord of this level has not even appeared yet. His eyes widen in shock. This thing he just killed with everything he had was just a warm-up. A spectral beast lunges forward, its claws digging deep into his shoulder. A whole pack of them descends, tearing him to pieces. Man, that's rough, and in this moment of agony, he finally understands his class name. A voice echoes in his mind. Once you open the door, endless suffering awaits you. One of the beasts roars right in his face. Si Chen is covered in blood, his expression a mask of pure grit. This voice continues its ominous message. You must conquer. He jolts awake with a gasp, clutching his blanket. He is back in his dorm room, breathing heavily after the intense training simulation. He clutches his chest, the phantom pain still lingering. He accepts his fate, this lonely and brutal path through purgatory. This scene changes to a large auditorium for the graduation combat exam ceremony. These students are buzzing with gossip in the auditorium. They say high-level officials are coming to watch, which explains why the exam rules changed. A student explains the new requirement. Teams need 5 members, with at least one being E-rank upper tier. They wonder if it is just to make things more entertaining for the big shots at the front of the room. An instructor with a mustache clears his throat. He announces that all student rank information has been sent to their wristbands. He tells them to review the list and form their teams as soon as possible. A flash of light signals the data transfer is complete. Everyone in the room pulls up a holographic screen from their wrist device. This list shows a roster of names and their ranks, mostly D and E-tier students. One student with glasses stares at his screen in disbelief. He says, "Who? Wait, that's not right." He scrolls down the list and finds Si Chen's name, listed as E lower tier. This student points at the screen, asking how Si Chen could possibly be ranked so low. Other students are just as confused, remembering his test result was rank C. Someone speculates that the demon core he used must have been broken. A couple of guys in the back just look smug about the whole thing. One of them admits he was thinking of teaming with Si Chen, but not anymore. Another student smirks, thinking that now nobody will want to team up with him. This gossip spreads, with everyone calling Si Chen dead weight and saying he must regret rejecting Gong Ting. And speaking of Gong Ting, the yellow-eyed rival just watches silently. This instructor, who is Gong Ting's uncle, watches his nephew from the stage. He thinks about his useless nephew, and when he will learn to use true power, a sinister smile creeps across the uncle's face. He thinks that he will teach him a lesson by making sure his opponent cannot even qualify. Man, he rigged it. An announcement tells students to hurry up and form their teams. Footsteps echo through the hall. This crowd calls out for President Gong Ting. Students desperately beg Gong Ting to let them join his team. They offer their skills, their loyalty, anything to get a spot. Man, talk about desperate. One of his teammates yells that they can only take one more person. Elsewhere, a team forms successfully, their bracelets glowing all around the auditorium. Teams are coming together, while Si Chen stands alone. But one group is struggling. We've asked everyone, but nobody wants to join us. They worry they will not even qualify for the exam. Si Chen knows this exam is crucial, as it determines everyone's future. This rules of the final exam are explained. This number of monsters in the layer scales based on team size. A diagram shows a small team facing a few monsters. A larger team will face a proportionally larger number of monsters, so having more people is not always an advantage. But still, no one wants to team up with the weak like Si Chen and his dorm mates. A text box reveals a harsh truth. The 3 lowest-ranked students in the school live in their dorm, and at this rate, things are looking bleak. Someone calls out to one of the students. Shangzuo looks up, startled. A student from another team offers him a spot, but mocks his current group of rank E nobodies. Si Chen's eyes narrow as he listens in. He and his 3 dorm mates are completely isolated. Shangzuo lowers his head, considering the offer. Man, what a choice to make. A student looks down and apologizes. He says he cannot abandon his roommates, because they already agreed to stick together. This group that tried to recruit him gets angry, calling him ungrateful trash. Geez, that's harsh. A team status screen shows that most of the slots are already filled. One of Si Chen's friends panics, saying they are just one person short and no one will join them. Si Chen just looks over his shoulder, his eyes glowing faintly. He thinks about how they changed the exam rules on a whim. They even altered his official rank data so no one would team up with him. All because they fear he might threaten Gong Ting. But he is not skipping this exam, no matter what yellow lightning crackles around his neck as he makes his decision. He thinks that if they are going to target him so openly, then he will just have to prove that strength is not limited to test results. This teacher with the mustache looks over, completely shocked by something. Si Chen's friends yell at him, asking what he is doing. A text box explains that awakened academies have a special tradition. Si Chen stands up, surrounded by crackling energy. As the text explains, the tradition is for practice. His rival, Gong Ting, watches from the crowd with a cold stare. Si Chen's eyes glow a brilliant gold, ready to make a scene. But a voice calls out from the doorway. Si Chen, do you still need another teammate? A blonde woman stands there confidently. I reached rank D back in middle school, so I shouldn't drag you down, right? Gong Ting is stunned, yelling that she is his cousin, while the teacher looks on in disbelief. This crowd starts whispering. The student council vice president Ling Yu wants to team up with Si Chen. She walks toward him as students gossip that she is a prodigy from another kingdom. This teacher shouts her name, Lan Ling Yu. He says she cannot participate as an exchange student. He adds that she has never taken an official rank test, but she just stands there with her arms crossed. Unbothered, this teacher insists that Ling Yu is breaking school rules by trying to enter the exam. But a new voice cuts in, and a man with purple energy appears. The teacher stammers. This teacher is completely stunned that the principal has shown up. This principal addresses Ling Yu directly, asking why a temporary student is getting involved in this chaos. Si Chen watches, confused. He thought the principal was a warrior class, so how did he just teleport? This principal tells Ling Yu that her joining would upset the balance of the exam, and she just smiles, saying what a shame. A sharp sound effect cuts through the air. Si Chen's eye glows a bright cyan as he tries to assess the situation. His detection skill shows him the principal and Ling Yu, but their ranks are just question marks. He realizes he cannot even detect the ranks of these two. They are on another level. This teacher with the mustache immediately starts sucking up to the principal, agreeing that the school must follow the rules. This principal begins a speech about the university's mission to train world-class fighters. He continues, saying the graduation exam is a decades-old tradition and a key turning point for students. He poses a rhetorical question about students losing this chance due to special circumstances. He finishes with a pointed stare. How could the school take responsibility for that? Damn, he is calling him out. A pair of red exclamation marks highlights the sudden tension in the room. This teacher starts sweating, realizing the principal is hinting that he knows about the system tampering. He thinks that the principal is joining hands with Ling Yu. He looks over at Si Chen, furious that the principal would go this far just to help that brat. But he decides to back down, knowing he cannot clash with someone this powerful. He thinks to his nephew, Gong Ting, that this is as far as his help can go. He consoles himself by thinking that Si Chen is still stuck with 3 useless teammates. He believes that this time, victory is still guaranteed for his nephew. This teacher publicly changes his tune, announcing it was their fault the new rules were unfair. Man, what a flip-flopper. He declares that teams with fewer than 5 members can now register. The doors to the exam are open to everyone. A notification flashes, team formation successful. His new teammates cheer, saying Si Chen should be the captain. Elsewhere, an older man remarks on Ling Yu's surprisingly strong interest in Si Chen. A text box explains that once a team is complete, this captain can then select their target demon lair. An official monitoring the selections is startled by an immediate submission. He wonders how a team could have picked their lair so fast. His other students are just as shocked, realizing it was Si Chen's team. And then the shock turns to disbelief as they realize which lair he chose. His own teammates are panicking, yelling at him to cancel the selection immediately. Man, this cannot be good. They ask if he even knows what he just signed them up for, but Si Chen just stares ahead calmly, his heterochromia on full display. He chose a lair filled with terrifying shadowy demons with glowing red eyes. This exam scoring is broken down. First is the clear rate worth up to 10 points. Next is defeating the Lord, which is worth 20 points. And finally, completion time is another 20 points. An F rank lair gives a 1.5 times multiplier for a max score of 75, but an E rank lair gives a 2 times multiplier for a perfect score of 100. This diagram shows how the points add up for an E king rank lair, leading to a potential perfect score of 100. A perfect score is the ultimate goal for any team. It also practically guarantees the team MVP award. Someone explains that the school's all-time high score is only 90 points. A student points out that E rank lairs are so hard you would need at least 3 D rank members to clear one. Everyone thinks Gong Ting's team is the only one with a shot at breaking that record. An instructor gets a notification that a submission was received. He looks closer and realizes with a jolt that it is Si Chen's team. He sees on the screen that they actually chose a D rank lair. Gong Ting looks over with a cold and calculating expression. This instructor tells another student that no class has ever cleared a D rank lair. One of Si Chen's new teammates grabs his arm. Si Chen, are you insane? Another teammate thinks he is a total madman and a lunatic. He collapses to the floor in despair, his wristband glowing. This friend with glasses begs him to think it through. Si Chen just looks at him calmly. I've thought it through. A notification confirms the submission is locked in. Then another team's selection pops up. Gong Ting has also chosen a D rank lair. A system announcement confirms Gong Ting's team is officially registered. This instructors are in an uproar. Another team picked a D rank lair. Someone just exclaims, "Gu Dreef." Gong Ting and his team sit calmly. Thinking this year is going to be wild, one of his teammates smirks, calling them nobodies, trying to act tough. She thinks they are not weighing their own abilities. First, Si Chen and his friends stand alone in the large hall. This gossip is that they are just trying to get attention since they will lose anyway. Gong Ting's goons mock them, saying Si Chen's team is already falling apart. This friend with glasses just stares at Si Chen, completely silent. He seems to be weighing his options, his expression unreadable. Then he confirms his choice. I'll stick with you till the end. Damn, that's a real friend. He figures they will finish last anyway, so the rank of the lair does not matter. He says at this point, they might as well enter a D rank lair just to see what it is like. But the third teammate grits his teeth. Hey, you guys! He explodes, yelling that he is supposed to be the dorm boss, but he was the last to decide. A system notification confirms it. D rank lair selected. Si Chen's team is officially registered. Si Chen looks over at his new team. Everyone, this 4 of them stand together, a newly formed and slightly dysfunctional unit. He declares that they will take the highest score together. Si Chen gives them a confident smirk, ready to lead the charge. He thinks to himself, the MVP is mine. Damn, the confidence is off the charts. Ling Yu watches from the sidelines, thinking this is the first time she has seen that expression on Gong Ting's face. As Si Chen's team walks away, the narrator notes the rivalry has finally come to the surface. This older man who was with Ling Yu smiles, saying youth is wonderful and has no fear of the unknown. But a woman next to him is skeptical, saying it is impossible for Si Chen to clear a D rank lair with his team. A text box explains that D rank lairs have a 3x multiplier, with a theoretical max score of 150 points for comparison. An E rank lair has a 2x multiplier for a max of 100 points. This D rank lair's 3x multiplier and 150 max score are displayed in a menacing red. And yeah, the difficulty is several times higher than an E rank lair. She thinks that with their current strength, this choice is clearly not optimal. This older man just keeps smiling, like he knows something she does not. Someone notes there is only half a month left until the exam, and making any significant improvement in that short time is considered impossible. We see other students training hard in a combat simulation room late at night. This instructors can only hope Si Chen's team puts up a decent performance. Meanwhile, the friend with glasses complains to Si Chen, while their other teammates are passed out on the floor. He whines that they are doing basic exercises while Si-Chen says that right now. Combat practice is meaningless theory. Si-Chen explains that when you enter an unknown demon lair, it is not your brain or your combos that save you. It is your instinct. He tells his friends that all their training is just to sharpen that instinct. He knows that school simulations are useless. Only real combat matters. But his friend points out that ordinary people cannot access training lairs. Si-Chen's eyes glow red with determination. We see a flashback to a training lair where the elite do whatever it takes to stay on top. This guy in a suit is one of them. They are obsessed with maintaining their power. They are born with advantages that normal people can never hope to achieve. So one of his friends asks what they can possibly do against that. Si-Chen lays out the plan: get the highest score, enter the Imperial Guild, and break the class barrier. His friend with the glasses realizes this exam is their only shot, and Si-Chen knows it is his best chance to finally surpass them. He promises to do everything in his power to keep his word to them. He declares that they will definitely win this, and so the training begins in a place called the Dream Tower. Si-Chen fights spectral beasts, taking a nasty slash to the chest. He gets swiped across the face, but he keeps fighting in the real world. The team is running laps until they drop back in the Dream Tower. He dodges another attack with lightning speed. Meanwhile, Gong Ting is in his own training lair, easily slicing through monsters. Si-Chen pushes himself to the limit, doing push-ups with a huge weight on his back. Gong Ting just stands there looking smug, surrounded by flames. Classic, but Si-Chen's hard work pays off. He levels up to Volt Assassin. Covered in his own blood, he glares ahead. The real battle begins now. Damn, he is ready. A small escort drone with a happy face greets the examinees. Si-Chen adjusts his gloves and pulls up his hood, ready for battle. An announcement begins. Attention, everyone. The graduation exam. A bright blue portal crackles with energy as the system comes online. This announcement finishes. The exam officially begins. A title card appears for this chapter. The glutton outside the academy. Some very important people are arriving in luxury cars. A voice calls out. Long time no see, President Gong. This principal shakes hands with a man in a white suit. This man is Gong Lin, co-founder of the Imperial Guild and Gong Ting's father. Students watch from a balcony, completely starstruck by the famous guild founder. Another limo pulls up, and people wonder who else could be this important. A man with reddish hair steps out of the car, looking very dapper. Someone stammers in disbelief. Recognizing the new arrival, it is Carl Cavendish, the vice chairman of the World Guild Alliance. Damn, the big guns are here. A student gawks, saying they cleared out the whole admin district for these guys. A text box explains the Guild Alliance is the most powerful organization in the world. If they notice you, your entire future could be set. This VIPs head inside as students gossip that getting their attention could change your life. An instructor briefs the VIPs. There are 84 students participating across 28 teams. This breakdown shows most teams chose F-rank lairs, with only 2 choosing D-rank. A woman named Sigrid, the Secretary General of the Guild Alliance, questions the D-rank choices. She asks if the students were warned about the danger, since D-rank lairs are tough even for pros. This instructor says they were, but most students are low rank and can barely handle F-rank mobs. We see an example of an F-rank monster, a thorn-jaw salamander, being fought by a student. This instructor explains that E-rank lairs are on a completely different level, and yeah, we see a team already getting wrecked inside one. They look terrified. Apparently, every mob in an E-rank lair is as strong as an F-rank boss. A swarm of stag beetle spiders descends on the helpless students. One of the students panics. How is an E-rank lair this hard? This is way beyond what we expected. So for most students, clearing an E-rank lair is basically impossible. Sigrid asks the principal what safety measures are in place for the students. This principal assures her they are the school's most valuable resource. He explains that armed Imperial Guild personnel are standing by outside each lair. We see a squad of them guarding a swirling blue portal. If any extreme danger is detected, they will intervene immediately. And if a student gives up, they get teleported out instantly. Just like this team, who pop back into the real world looking completely traumatized. Poor guys. Sigrid notes that even so, 2 teams chose the D-rank lairs, calling them talented. She says she is looking forward to seeing their performance. This principal smirks, saying he wants to see 2. Specifically, how long they can last, man. That's cold on a monitor. We see Si-Chen's team trudging through a snowy wasteland. This principal thinks to himself that the kids will bail out soon enough. Si-Chen briefs his team on the ghost bat monkey cloud monster, warning them about its speed and dive attacks. A massive shadowy creature with huge claws looms over them from out of frame. A whole swarm of the bat-like monsters swoops down on them. Si-Chen yells a warning and immediately dives out of the way of a lightning-fast attack. This storm boss follows his lead, leaping through the air to dodge. This team is sprawled on the snow in shock. We actually just dodged a D-rank monster's attack. I am still alive. A huge furry beast bursts from the snow, with Si-Chen waiting in the distance. Si-Chen's eyes glow yellow, telling his team they cannot handle these monsters yet. He tells them to stay back and leave the rest to him, charging in with a flash of light. But his teammates are already in trouble. One gets swiped and the other barely dodges. This dorm boss gets slammed hard against a tree. This friend with glasses realizes Si-Chen's training was never about them fighting together. This dorm boss grits his teeth, thinking about how he used to be the leader, and now he has to rely on this guy just to get through graduation. Man, that's gotta sting. A monster's head lies severed in the snow. Si-Chen is a blur of motion, smashing through monsters with electrified fists. A whole swarm of these furry bat-like creatures descends on him. This dorm boss thinks back to when Ma Long said Si-Chen was strong, and he did not believe it. He realizes this guy's strength is not like a graduating student at all. He feels like he has been completely left in the dust. This friend with glasses yells a warning. Another one is coming from behind. This dorm boss's fist ignites with fire. He is not sitting this one out. He roars that it is his graduation exam too. This friend with glasses agrees. His hand glowing with green energy, he unleashes a torrent of vines, yelling for the monster to taste his power. This vines wrap around one of the flying beasts, trapping it, but he is shocked when the monster breaks free in an instant. Another monster unleashes an ice attack. Cloud chant frost gust. This dorm boss sees his chance and hurls a fireball at the frozen creature. This monster roars as the fireball makes contact. Surprised by its toughness, the dorm boss unleashes a rapid fire barrage of fireballs. One of Si-Chen's teammates is straining, yelling that he cannot hold it much longer. This friend with glasses is in the same boat, screaming that he is at his limit. A little drone congratulates them, announcing the ghost bat monkey is defeated. His 3 teammates collapse in the snow, cheering that they actually took down a D-rank monster. But Si-Chen just watches from the side, completely silent. His friend calls out to him as the monster's remains drop a finger bone. This dorm boss guy is grinning from ear to ear, saying that was easy as pie. Meanwhile, back in the viewing room, one of the instructors is in total disbelief. He stammers about how those useless students with no combat experience actually killed a D-rank monster. Gong Ting's father, Gong Lin, watches the screen with a stern expression. But Carl Cavendish seems impressed. That young man is performing quite well, he says. This camera focuses on Si-Chen's face as he looks on, and Carl notes that he looks a lot like an old acquaintance. He makes a mental note of the name Si-Chen, saying he will remember it. Gong Lin just glares, clearly not happy with this development. Suddenly, the instructor with the mustache gets an alert. He clears his throat and tells everyone to look. A notification pops up. The other D-rank team has already reached the lair's midpoint on the screen. Gong Ting's team is cutting through monsters with ease. One of the VIPs watches intently, saying nothing. Sigrid adjusts her glasses, noting their coordination is on the level of a pro-guild party. Carl Cavendish just smiles. Oh, interesting. This year's graduates are looking pretty good. But the instructor with the mustache looks grim, thinking the battle has only just begun. He knows the real show is still ahead, and we see one of Gong Ting's teammates, a girl with a guitar, casting a debuff spell called Elegy of Decay. One of Gong Ting's teammates gathers purple energy in his fist. He unleashes a skill called Sarpol Convergence, pulling a monster in. Gong Ting moves in a blur, drawing his sword for the kill. His team stands over the defeated monster, one of them remarking how easy it is. Another teammate smirks. So it's true. The graduation exam was set up in advance for the Gong family. Man, what a cheat. Meanwhile, Si-Chen's team looks completely exhausted as they climb through the snow. But Si-Chen looks ahead with cold determination in his red eyes. They have reached the high-risk peak of the Cloud Forest summit. This 4 of them finally make it to the top of the snowy mountain. One of them can hardly believe it. We actually made it all the way to the top of a D-rank lair, and a giant, scarred ape monster with glowing red eyes is waiting for them. This friend with glasses starts to panic. Oh crap, 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 it's looking over here. This massive beast roars and charges, sending his teammates screaming. But Si-Chen just blasts it with a huge wave of blue energy, sending it flying. His friend is completely dumbfounded. So it still went down this easily. Who? Si-Chen stands over the monster's body, collecting the loot and experience points. He thinks it is strange. The D-rank lair lord gave barely any EXP and trashy loot. Suddenly, one of his teammates yells about finding magic crystals. He waves them over to a hollowed-out tree, telling them to check it out. Inside is a massive stash of mid-grade magic crystals. We see a blue blur of motion as someone rushes past. It is Si-Chen, moving with incredible speed. A white symbol flashes on a black background, back in the control room. The monitor for Si-Chen's team suddenly cuts out. Si Chan's team. Signal lost. This instructor with the mustache smirks. Looks like your little graduation exam journey ends here. Geez, that's a setup. This instructor panics. At this point, the students' lives are in danger, aren't they? But Carl Cavendish calmly tells them, let's give them a bit more time. Back in the lair, the friend with glasses lets out a massive sneeze. This whole team is frozen in jagged ice. He shivers. So cold, so cold. A low growl echoes through the frozen wasteland. A massive ice monster begins to form from the shards. This friend with glasses looks up in horror. Is he the real lord of this lair? A sinister laugh echoes around them. This monster takes its full form, a skeletal king made of ice and shadow. This friend with glasses recognizes it. I think I've seen him in the Monster Compendium. He recalls its description. A cunning cloud mage who loves to toy with its prey. Its name is the Bone King of Frozen Remains. Man, what a name. A title card confirms it is a C-rank cloud mage. This friend with glasses realizes the earlier ice burst was a trap. He knows he cannot handle a rare rank C Lord class monster by himself. He looks over and sees Chon is also completely encased in ice. He thinks to himself that he has to do something quickly. A warning flashes on his wrist, asking if he wants to abandon the exam. He yells out his refusal. His hand glows with blue energy. I have to thaw Chon out. Fast, he casts a purification spell, believing Su Chen is their only hope. But an ice spike impales his shoulder, and the purification fails. Damn. This Bone King just laughs at his pathetic attempt. This name of an attack appears. Icebone Spike. This Bone King stands over them, summoning more ice shards to finish the job. A system alert pops up for the friend with glasses. Warning of a severe arm wound and high heart rate. It asks him a simple question. Do you wish to abandon the exam? He grits his teeth, his glasses glowing as he thinks about abandoning the fight. He remembers how he has always run away from hardship and fear, and because of that, he was always left behind. He was ignored, laughed at, bullied, and treated unfairly. He thinks back to how they fought with everything they had just to get this far. He remembers the joy of their first victory, lying in the snow with his teammates. This was their one chance to finally change their fate. With glowing blue eyes, he screams that he absolutely will not give up. Damn, he actually did it. He unleashes a skill called Source of Purification, directing it at Si Chen. This energy breaks the control of a skeletal monster that had frozen Si Chen in place. Si Chen screams as the purifying light surges through him. This ice encasing him begins to crack and shatter. This friend with glasses pours every last bit of his energy into the spell. Si Chen and the dorm boss finally break free from the ice. This skeletal boss looks on in shock, its glowing blue eyes wide. Si Chen catches his friend as he collapses from exhaustion. This friend smiles weakly, saying Si Chen broke the control on his own in the end. He warns him that the monster is a rank C Lord, the Bone King of Frozen Remains. Man, a C-rank boss. Si Chen looks grimly toward the new threat as his friend gasps for breath. This Bone King looms in the distance, a terrifying skeletal figure wreathed in frost. This friend panics, realizing the boss just fired off a giant ice burst bomb they cannot dodge. A massive explosion of ice and energy erupts from the boss. This entire area is consumed by a blinding white light. This blinding white light of the explosion slowly begins to fade, and the Bone King lets out a triumphant laugh, thinking it has won. But from its point of view, it sees a massive ice wall has blocked its attack. This skeletal boss's jaw drops in complete and utter shock. His friend is just as stunned. Say, Chen, whoa, it is that power on you? Aren't you supposed to be a vault assassin? He wonders aloud. Don't tell me you're one of those 1 in 10,000. Si Chen is surrounded by a new vibrant aura. Sorry, I misjudged things before and dragged the three of you into danger. A system window shows a class switch is in progress. A notification flashes across the screen. The class switch is complete. He clenches his fist, his eyes glowing with power. But that ends now, man. The confidence.